guys, you're welcome to our YouTube channel. Once again, my name is Michelle. I'm going to be your host as usual. Anyway, you are welcome. I hope you shared the other videos and you got people to like as much as possible. I have on my panel today two nutritionists, and I must say I feel very small, but then what are some of the spiritual stuff that we can do to maintain our bodies as temples?
When we reach Joshua chapter 1 verse 8, it summarizes everything.
Okay.
Moses told Joshua to meditate on the word. So we're meditating, praying, fasting. Fasting also helps us maintain our spiritual life.
Okay.
So it maintains the spiritual aspect of our body.
Okay.
So doing all these things and also engaging yourself in church activities, things that will lift your spirit up. But if you always find yourself in your corner doing your own thing, there are some things when you come to church, it's in the Bible. But you would read it and won't understand it. But if you should join your people and you fellowship together, it will be explained to the point that you will understand that, okay, so this thing I was contemplating, or this is what it really means. Okay. And it will help you grow spiritually.
Okay.
Yeah, so these are some of the things we
can do. So I have like about 2 questions before we move on to our next session. There is one that is, what do you do to recover a desecrated temple? Like your body, you know that Charlie body day, why am I? What are some of the things that you can do to recover it or to help it take it at least, if not to the full potential as it was before, a little bit closer than?
Okay, when you come to the temple in a spiritual way, as we are now, you know, when you read the Bible, it tells us that when we have all sinned and fall short.
Okay.
But when we confess our sins, He is faithful and just to forgive us. So spiritually, when we see that we've done something because of the blood, the moment we plead for forgiveness with the heart, a forgiving heart, that you see that what you are doing is genuine, not that I went to fornicate, I can't. God, I'm sorry for the fornication. Meanwhile, it's not from my heart, just a saying, no. But when we confess our sins faithfully, He will forgive us and we continue with what we are doing.
Okay, so Juliana, sorry, yeah. Physically, what are some of the steps that you can take to recover a desecrated body?
Okay, so recovering your desecrated, maybe you didn't watch your diet, and right now you have developed one of the chronic diseases.
Okay.
All you need to do is just come back, readjust your eating patterns, make sure every meal you take is balanced using the 4-star. If I say the 4-star, she understands the 4-star.
I don't understand.
Yeah. So let me explain the 4-star.
Okay, explain.
The 4-star, we have the staples, mostly the carbohydrate foods, and we have the seeds and legumes.
Okay.
It contains the beans, the granules, the agushi. Yes, they are in one group.
I think we'll dwell a bit more on this in the second discussion.
Okay.
So hold.
Let me hold it there.
Yes, hold it. We'll continue that in the second discussion. So, do we eat to be full? Eat to feel good? Because me sometimes I have cravings. Me call do pizza, you know, pizza with Coke. Okay, and I have to eat. So, are you supposed to eat to be healthy, eat to be full, or eat to feel good? Because, you know, there are some people that when they are upset, they turn to food.
Yeah.
And usually it's junk food that they turn to. Because, Charlie, if you are crying, why? You know, you don't have that time. So you go and get some fried rice somewhere that will make you feel okay. So the 3, do you eat to feel good, eat to be healthy, eat to be before? Or we can merge some and leave some out? It's like
the 3 works together, I would say.
Okay.
First of all, take eating to be full. You know, when we are hungry, we have to suppress the hunger. Yeah. And that is whereby we eat to be full. And then we eat to feel good, whereby we see that the food that we have eaten, we are okay with it. And it becomes a healthy eating, whereby it has all the nutrients, as I said initially. If you eat, you are full, you feel good, and what you ate is not healthy, you are in danger. Your health is in danger.
Okay.
Are you getting me?
Yeah.
So the 3 works together.
Okay.
But I always cite this example that when you go outside the country, there are some people, they are people who are managing their diets and they pay them. But in our place like this, it's not like that.
We don't do that.
We see food to be like, menye aduane no, it's mediame, I hope you get what So the three works hand in hand. They work together. But if you get two and you leave one, remember, your life is in danger.
Julie, do you have a little to add or?
Yeah, we don't eat like how we want. You need to put everything in place. So on that plate you have, it needs to be healthy, it needs to satisfy you, and it needs to make you feel good on one plate.
Interesting. Interesting. So all the three works hand in hand.
Hand in hand. You
for
can't
you
just
to,
leave one out.
for your temple or your body to be
good.
in good shape.
Yeah.
All right. So moving on to our next topics for discussion or the next segment. Is healthy living biblical? Is healthy living biblical? Can we say that we have scriptures backing healthy living, or it's something that, you just have to do because you don't want to die early?
Okay. So after creation, when God created man, God handed over everything to man, and he said, you can do it. He knew what dieting was, even at that time.
Okay.
Before we came.
Okay.
So he knows the importance of nutrient. That is why he gave them the chance to eat everything. Except one. Yeah. He knew the consequences that tree had on humans. Okay. That is why that one, there was an exception on it. But the rest, he gave them chance to eat everything from all the varieties. So they were exposed to everything. And they were not supposed to eat abnormally. But from the varieties, today if I eat orange, okay, let me see, the next morning I'll go in for banana because it's available. Okay, in the afternoon, let me use watermelon. In the evening, let me do grapes. That was what they were doing there at that time because everything was available. And we have it at our disposal right now, but just that we see it not to be a necessity.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've opened your scripture, so
yes,
let's go.
When you read Genesis 1:29, it says, then God said, I give you every seed-bearing plant on the face of the whole earth.
Okay.
Seed-bearing plants. The whole earth.
Everything is yours.
Everything is yours. Thank you, sister. And then it says, and every tree that has fruits with seed in it.
Okay.
And then it continues to say that they will be yours for food. So that means everything on this earth is food.
Choppable.
If you are not able to eat that thing, that doesn't mean someone cannot eat it. What will not be your food will be someone's food. So biblically, healthy living is
key.
a key. It's a key. Whether you are a Christian, Buddhist, traditionalist, or what, you have to. Because I wrote something, it says that when you talk of health involves the restoration and strengthening of one's personal relationship with God.
Okay.
Sister, come don't you kasa ko bon paya. Sabe adwen no odwen na nsisu a wo ba so dem anya sofo ka bia you get it. So it says that the healthy lifestyle includes pursuing healthy relationship like physically, spiritually and emotionally.
Okay.
You get it?
So that is like a whole something. You can't just be emotionally okay and then spiritually you are some way, and then your eating habits too is some way.
Physically, if you are not well, it affects your spiritual life.
Yeah.
It affects you emotionally.
Very true.
Because come the way,
Very true.
I hope you get it.
Yeah.
So it works together, as I keep on saying.
Okay, so healthy living is biblical. So can we then say that dieting is good for a Christian? Because there are so many dietary supplements around now, so many slim teas and a whole bunch of stuff that can help you reduce weight, gain protein shakes for the guys, gain weight and all that. Like, is it okay for a Christian to embark on things like that? These are temples of God, and you can't just do anything to the body because obviously God has the ownership. So,
A Christian, you need to diet.
okay.
Even we need to diet very well.
Okay.
Both physically, spiritually, and emotionally.
Okay.
We need to. When it comes to the physical aspect, except that you are fasting, that is to lift the spirit. But when it comes to the physical aspect, a Christian or Christians needs to, or religious people need to eat very well.
Okay.
We need to eat very well to make good use of what our Creator created for us. God created something because of us. Because what we read from the Bible is saying that it will be ours for food. So that means God created that thing purposely for us. And we need to enjoy. I hope you get it. If your father has something and you don't make good use of it, you will lose it. So as a Christian, we need to diet very well so that spiritually we'll be strong, physically we'll be strong, emotionally we'll be strong to worship the Maker.
Okay, so Julie, do we need to consult someone to help us with the dieting, or you can just get up one day and say, "Chale, make a slimming course. I have to embark on this dieting myself." Do you need professional help to start with a dieting plan?
Yeah, I think it is very good to seek professional counseling before you do those things, because before they give you the counseling, there are a lot of things there are a lot of tests they would run on you.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes. If you come to the Takwa Municipal Hospital, that's where I am right now.
Okay.
Yeah. If you come to the diet therapy department, immediately you enter, we will do what we call anthropometry. Yeah, the anthropometry is we take your weight, your height, and we will check your BMI. And we have a machine that checks your body fat compositions. So after running all these things, we can now delve into what you really came in for. Without these things, we might not know you very well. You can just talk. But after doing these tests, okay, so fine. Let me use you for an example. You might be 157, 158 for height in centimeters. And then let me give you 70 kg.
That is close enough. Okay.
Yeah, let me give you 70 kg because I've been working with.
Okay. So yeah, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I am just approximating.
Okay.
And I'll give you a BMI of like 26.
Okay.
So with this BMI of 26, I would say you are overweight.
Okay.
But if we should do the body fat composition, it will tell me where your visceral fat lies,
Okay.
where your general body fat lies,
Okay.
where your muscle lies, and what your resting metabolism is. So after knowing all these things, I would come down to do a dietary recall with you.
Okay.
So the dietary recall entails what you eat every day. So it will take a 24-hour dietary recall. That started from, let me see, this afternoon, what you ate in the morning, and what you ate yesterday evening.
Okay.
So if I get you 24-hour dietary recall, I will do what we call usual intake. So on a normal day, what do you normally take? There are some things, it's a part of us, but if you are doing the recall, some people would not mention them.
Okay. Okay.
So after getting down to these things, that is when I get to know who you really are through your diet. So after this, I would know either to reduce your diet or increase it,
Okay.
or to maintain what you have.
Okay, okay. So, Mr. Gifty, so the people that they just get up and then they go on weight loss, they take in other stuff to increase their weight, will it have any effect on them? Because from what she's saying, a whole lot goes in before you can actually start a diet plan, right? Yeah, so if you don't consult a professional on this and you just probably, I feel that, oh, I am very big, I feel obese, so I want to reduce my weight. I just start taking the slim teas and all that. And then for those who want to gain weight, especially for the guys who take in protein shakes and they start lifting, will it have an effect on them later on in life or something?
Yes, it will. Not now. You might not see it at your youthful age, but the old age, you will experience all those, especially those who take drugs.
Okay.
The other time I was saying something, and even yesterday, I was making a research. Some people have come out that we should eat according to blood group.
Yeah,
And when I read this, it's something that is practiced in the Asia, not in Africa.
Okay.
And they are practicing that based on their weather, what they plant, and that is what is they are doing for themselves. And then you've gone to read that thing, bring it to Africa. Meanwhile, we have different weather, we have different food
Everything
altogether.
is different.
Just because they want you to buy their product. So they will tell you that if you are good this, you shouldn't eat this, blood group this.
I know someone who is actually pushing that agenda
Yeah.
very
On
well.
air.
Yeah,
on her
the guy
status.
comes. No, there is one doctor who does that on Adum TV. I think it's on Sunday evenings.
Okay.
I didn't know about it. My sister was watching back when I was in school. So I came back and she was like, Rana, they said I shouldn't eat this. I was like, who said it?
So that can have an effect.
Serious
Very,
effects.
very. As
Very
my
serious.
sister said, when the BMI is, when they calculated the BMI for you, that actually helps to know your diet plan or the diet chart that, as she said earlier. And even people will say, I don't have money to go for that. But the other time, I have a WhatsApp group that I teach, and we're teaching something on the LDL and then the HDL. Now, when you talk of,
You know, some people might not really know what LDL and HDL. I don't know.
Oh, they are a type of fats in the body.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
In
Please, is a type
these
of
two
fat.
fats, one is good, the other is bad.
the HDL, the words are big. I don't
Yes.
want to go there to
Okay,
scare.
okay, that's fine.
That's why I'm using the abbreviation.
Okay, that's
Uh-huh.
fine, that's fine.
I don't want to confuse.
Okay,
But
yes,
when you
continue.
take the good one is the HDL.
HDL,
okay.
That's the good one.
High density.
So you need to go there to know your fat level.
Okay.
Getting to know your fat level will help you to know how to take your fats. And you know, it's like every day, you need a percentage of protein, carbohydrate, and fats, and other things that the body needs to consume. So in the morning, if you take, let's take like a day, the fat you need to get is, let's say, like 34.
Okay.
And then in the morning, only the breakfast alone contains the 34. That means you have taken your fat for the day.
For the
You
day.
shouldn't eat any
Extra.
fat food again till the next day.
Wow.
But for us, we don't do it like that.
Oh no.
We don't do it like that.
It's how we want it.
Okay, so we don't do it like that. Could it be it's because of the environment we find ourselves, our financial strength, the foods available for us? Because sometimes you really want to eat fruit, but then they are expensive.
It's knowledge, lack of knowledge is one.
Okay.
Money is two, that's financial. The
Yeah.
environment is three, and the season.
Okay.
Especially fruits. You know, fruits here, we eat it according to season.
Yeah.
So I always say that when a certain fruit is in season, make good use of it. Eating fruit to your satisfaction doesn't mean that me di fruits na mame. No. At least something small, just to balance it. You're okay. Even if you get one orange, you're okay.
Good.
The food is balanced. You've eaten the nutrition. But have in mind that you can't do all this without exercising.
Okay.
You can't do all these things without exercising. And I also said that you won't say that me, I go to the gym, so I'm always okay. You can gym whereby you don't eat a nutritious food. The gymming is also waste.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very true.
Okay, so yeah, share yours with us.
Yes, there is one thing about being physically active, and there is one thing about eating well. These two things, they work hand in hand. So let's take, for instance, let me use you.
Okay.
Yeah. With your BMI, you say you go to the gym every morning, but with your breakfast, you told me you take in tea with salad.
Okay.
But the constituents of the salad, we have mayonnaise, we have sardine, we have corned beef,
There's
we have
tuna.
baked beans,
Yes,
there's
everything.
tuna, there is egg.
It's well balanced now.
Balance, in what case? And after that, you add cheese to your bread. Yes,
Don't be small though.
that is what some people
But you know,
do.
sometimes we think that when you do that, you are eating,
You are eating well.
You have money.
You have, but that is not the case.
Oh wow.
So with what I've just described right now, you are heading to hell, no matter the amount of exercise. you
Heading to hell.
Yes, because what you are doing with your BMI being 26, you are heading to obesity.
Okay, okay.
And if you should hit obesity, it means you are prone to all kinds of chronic diseases on earth. Everyone can just barge in.
Wow.
And they are like a family. If this person surfaces,
The rest.
I am giving you like 2 years, the next person will just come and join. Diabetes and hypertension, these two people, you can't just separate them. This person will just surface. 2 years later,
Another
they'll tell
one will
you,
pop up.
oh, I'm sorry, your BP is just shooting. And you know how it is, eating without salt and sugar, just imagine.
Wow. Wow. So, my people out there, if I've not learned anything, you can go to the gym and not eat healthy and you head straight to hell. And you can eat healthy, not go to the gym, and that is
And
also
even
another
you-
issue.
Like
Not gym
that-
alone,
not gym
exercise.
alone,
Exercise,
exercising.
basically exercise. So
Exercise.
we are in a COVID-19 era, that's what I call it, where most often than not you are stuck in the house. You know, sometimes, so it means you are idle, basically. You don't go to work. For some people, they are doing rotational sort of thing. So most people are in the house, some are in partial lockdown and all that. Eating, how is eating going to be like? Because what if you almost every 5 minutes we are one year medi. So how do you go about things in, you know, when you are in lockdown? How do you go about eating healthy when you find yourself in such a situation?
This is the time that we need to make good use of more fruits, vegetables, and exercising.
Okay.
And this topic, I treated it on Dynamite, is it 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago? And you know, when you are idle, doing nothing, the least thing you feel like going to eat.
Eating.
Yeah.
So first, before you eat, check the size of your plate. If you are eating in a big plate or a big bowl, you are forced to eat more. But if you are a small bowl to contain what you are dishing, that one, me plate in it, it won't say.
But some people can heap. Yes.
And two, after eating, keep yourself busy.
Okay.
Especially now the children are at home. You know, there are lots of TV programs. We have these Sendlaws, that's the distant learning.
Yeah.
We have the joy learning. Look at the timing and help the children to have access to it, because as they are learning, you know, the mind wouldn't be on food. And then two, create an activity in the home for the children. You can buy Ludu, you can buy Owari. You know, even the Owari alone that they are playing, they think they are playing, but indirectly they are learning counting. The Ludu, they are learning counting. It's an activity. A child who has a flexible ankle, as they are doing, working with it, you know, they are strengthening the ankle. But we will see it to say, they are grokeke, but it is doing something. We have an exercise that we call yoga, the yoga exercise. Even you alone can do it. So as parents, if all of you are at home, you can have this yoga. Even now, when you go to the multi-TV, the Fresh TV, they have been doing it, or download it. When you go to YouTube, when you go to online, then you see, or even if you don't have data, just a music and be doing dancing. It's a form of exercise. That doesn't mean you should go out before you exercise as we are locked down. And then you make sure that the food that you are preparing, as we said, you have bits of every nutrient in it. That alone, because other than that, after this lockdown, you see a lot of people becoming obese.
Yes.
Oh, that one.
I saw it on someone's status. How would you look after this lockdown? Fat, slim, pregnant. These three things were just there. And I circled fat because I know 90% of we Ghanaians,
Yeah.
we would use this time to sleep and watch movies.
Adidas, you know.
Yeah,
Yes.
we would eat, sleep, watch movies like all the time. But we keeping ourselves, just something small in your own house can just help. Okay, so the place looks a little bit weedy. It doesn't need you to hire someone to do it. Just do it on your own.
Okay.
Most times I tell my clients, it's not about just picking an outfit for gym, heading towards the gym. That means you are exercising. In your room, you just get up out of your bed, just that four corner. You can do a lot of exercises. Sit-ups, squats, jumps, everything, skipping rope. You can just do all these things just to keep you, because as you exercise, you are burning calories, you are burning fat, and these are some of the things that we just accumulate in the system
and it
that
doesn't go out.
bloats us. Fat, carbohydrates like this immediately enters the system. If it's not in use, the body will store it as glycogen in the liver. The farthest it can go is 2 weeks, and after that, it will turn to fat.
Okay.
So that is what brings about most of our weight, because there was this client I was counseling and she was like, I have taken almost all fat out of my diet. I was like, oh, yeah, you can take it out, but you
then
still
the
have the carbohydrates
carbohydrates.
there. So it will do you that harm. So right now, what should I do? Just exercise. And easy. Yeah, we know it's not easy, but 10, 20 minutes of your time every day, consistently. And one thing about exercise, you don't stop. The body hates that. You can't just program me for exercise for just 1 month
And then
and
you
you
pause.
relax. We have something we call the yo-yo syndrome. You know how yo-yo is? Yes. So if you lose 10, you can gain 10 or 20.
Quite. Wow.
So that is it. So as in this season where we are at the comfort of our homes with our kids, we should try our possible best to engage the family. Let's do something, cooking competition for the family members. Yes, it will keep us busy. Yes, sewing competition every day. As my sister said, let's create an activity. So we'll create a timetable. Today, we are doing indoor games. The next day is cooking. The next day is just like
Something.
keeping the house in shape. Like always, if you should do that, the kids will also learn. So that they won't like learn some of the things you are doing. They'll be like, okay, mom used to make us do this. And I think it's good. And it really helped us in this situation.
Okay, so I have like about 2 or 3 questions and then we are done. Sister Gifty, so imagine you find yourself in a situation where most stuffs are not available for you. Okay, most of the necessary ingredients, no, nutrients, yeah, that you need are not available. What are some of the things that you can put together? You know, something quick. Maybe what should I need your master? Because probably that particular moment you are broke, or even the environment you find yourself, you cannot get some basic stuff. So what are at least some of the simple little things that we can add to our daily routine, eating routine, cooking routine that can help us, you know, with regards to our nutrients intake and all that?
Oh, okay. Before I tackle what you said, I will come to spiritual aspects on what we just discussed and
Okay.
answer your question. You know, when you come to the church, you know, there's something that the Methodists, they said they call them Susanna.
Yeah.
They do, I like very well. You know, when they go for their camp meeting, they go for walk, they go for trotting. You see them in there. So it's like the church, I think it's high time that the
embark on
church
these
needs to
things.
be organizing all these things for the members. Because as the church organizes, you see that
Everyone will just get
that is
involved.
it.
Because it looks like usually that we just concentrate on the spiritual
Spiritual
aspects
aspects,
and
leaving
then
And we leave the physical.
the eating and the exercise.
eating,
Charlie,
yeah.
Even at times, they need to have a talk for the church. You know, I like this church, Resurrection. Why? Because after they've done all their church service, such people will come for 10 minutes to give talk on a topic, health talk on a topic, and before they close the church. So back on your question, let's say like at the end of the month, you go to the markets. So when you are going for bulk buying, you try to list all the things that you are going to buy. So you make sure that all that I am listing, especially in food, the food stuff that I have written down, is it going to contain, or is it containing all the nutrients that needs to be? Because you have the money and you are going for shopping. So you make sure, if it is 2 weeks shopping, you make sure that the 2 weeks shopping has all
Everything.
that is it in it. If you get a tomato, you get this, you get that. Even if it is not a fruit that you can have, you can have the fruit juice. You know, the fruit juice, normally I talk about it whereby I have made it myself at home.
Okay.
Using the blender or the juice maker to make it myself. Because those at the market, I'm not saying it's bad, it's very good, but just that they add preservatives. So you wouldn't get the right nutrient that you are supposed to get. I remember when we did the acidity for, the acidic level for orange. And then when we use the centrifuge, we got to know that when you talk of orange juice, it's very white. It's not yellow. Though when you squeeze the juice, you get yellow. But when you pass through the centrifuge, it's very white, very, very white.
Wow.
So the question that my examiner asked me was, so the one that we've been drinking, we say orange juice. Is it orange juice?
Yes, Lord.
Are you getting me?
Yeah.
So at least you see that this watermelon that I've got, 10 cedis. Eating fruit doesn't mean eating to be full. When you get the 10 cedis, you can divide it maybe into 10. That means you are going to take it for 10 days.
Okay.
You get it? You get banana, you take 2 a day. Or you take 1, the watermelon, you divide the 1 into 2, you add half to the watermelon, you blend it. You know, you're getting 2 nutrients. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
So when going to the market to shop, the bulk buying, you should make sure that you have a bit of vegetable, a bit of fruits, a bit of this, a bit of green, a bit of cereals, a bit of beans and other, the legumes. You have them in bed so that when you are preparing the food, you get all the nutritive aspects out.
Wow. So a whole bunch goes into eating. It's not just about buying the food and eating keke.
No.
Okay, so does the time, Julie, I'm asking you this, does the time we eat play or has an effect on us?
Yes, very important.
Breakfast, lunch, supper, everything.
Everything. Timing, when it comes to dieting, time is one of the most important factors. Apart from getting your ingredients, time is one of the most important factors because you can't tell me you're eating breakfast at 10 a.m.
But isn't that breakfast?
No.
Oh, okay. Wow.
You can't tell me you're eating breakfast at 10 a.m. It's wrong.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Breakfast should be at least, or let me say at most, 3 hours or 4 hours when you're out of your bed. That is when you take your breakfast. So it should be, if you are the type that wakes up very early, from 6 to 8, you should have taken your breakfast already.
Okay.
And breakfast is one of the most important meals of the day.
Okay.
It's like before you start your car, you check if everything is in order. So the breakfast goes in there to check if every system is in order.
This is interesting.
Yes, and after breakfast, we have something we call mid-morning snack. Yeah, the mid-morning snack can be optional, depending on your work. Maybe you are the busy type, you wouldn't even remember there is something we call mid-morning snack. But your lunch should be from 12 to 1, it should be done. 12 to 1 should be done. You should have eaten your lunch already. And from 1 to 3, we have mid-afternoon snack. That one too can be optional depending on your work and your schedules.
Okay.
So by 6 p.m., dinner or supper should have gone down. So after that time, anything that comes in should be something light that will hold your body till you sleep.
Hey, then, okay, so this is quite interesting. So mean that I have breakfast around 10.
Yeah, it's not helping. It's not helping.
Okay, so ideally, breakfast should be about 4 hours after you wake up.
So let's take it like, if I wake up at 6, let's take it like that. If I wake up at 6, I'm just adding a little to what my sister said. I'm not condemning my sister.
Okay.
So let's say like, as she said, 10, based on, but let's say like, there's some people, they sleep and wake up at 6 o'clock. At least 6 o'clock, everybody should be out of bed. So it's a suggestion or the little that I'm adding to it, at least 10. But anything beyond 10,
It's not breakfast.
it's not.
It's not breakfast.
It's not.
Okay, okay. So, guys, I hope you have learned a whole bunch. I've learned a lot, and right now, a whole bunch of stuff are running through my head. All right, so we are about ending our session. I hope to have you another time so that we talk about a different aspect of the healthy living. So before we go, I want you guys to give us a little bit of something to take home. Yeah, so who will start? Julie, let's
Okay.
start with you. Yeah, your last words.
Yeah, so what I'll say is, as temples, we are not supposed to do things anyhow.
Okay.
We are supposed to do things thinking of who is our in charge. Because the in charge cares so much about us that he has provided everything we need for a healthy living. So as he is catering for our spiritual aspect, we have an aspect to also play in our spiritual aspect, all right, but the physical, 100% of the time, depends on us. So if your body is in good shape, you have all the concentration on your in charge, living to please him all the time. So we should make our food and our medicine our food, and know that it's not everything that we can eat.
Okay.
We don't eat to satisfy our desires, but we should ask ourselves one question. What I'm taking in, of what benefit is this to my health?
Okay.
And is it profitable to the temple? And would it make my in charge proud? These
All
are my words.
right. Thank you, Sagisi. Your last word.
As my sister tackled the temple, I will also tackle the healthy eating aspect, that whatever that we are eating, you should check about the timing, you should check about the nutritive aspect of it. You shouldn't just eat anything anyhow, but we should check what we are eating. As she said, that we should make food a medicine. And if you refuse to spend on your diet, have it in mind that you spend it on
drugs.
That is it.
Wow. Is it a term that you guys learn in school?
No, it's not
No,
a term.
it's not a term. This is the reality. So right now you are eating junk.
Yeah.
Diabetes will set in,
And then you have to go and
would
buy
have
drugs.
to buy drugs.
All right, guys. So this is a wrap for today. Thank you for joining us. As usual, share, like, and leave a comment. You can get us on our Instagram and Facebook handles at King's Word Ministries. So before we go, I would like for them to give their social media handles. And if you have any more questions, if you have to book them for any session or anything, you just contact them. So, Julie, let's go.
Yeah, I'm Juliana Animal on Facebook and same on Instagram.
Okay. Okay, so please look at her face very well. You see her pictures. Yes, I can.
You can see me on Facebook as Efua Manko or Gifty Efua Nyeneku. And then on the Facebook too, I have this, My Health, My Pride on Facebook.
Okay.
And then BGM Services.
Okay.
We do others, wedding, funeral, parties. If you are planning for any events, you don't have the idea, you come to us, we do for you. So with the health, imagine all the food, very nutritious.
Well, thank you guys for joining us today. Stay safe, stay healthy, eat well. Bye.